Where do we rank Cam Skattebo moving forward? Week number 6, he drops 3 touchdowns against the Eagles defense, by the way. Where do we rank him now going forward? Is he a top 6 to 10 running back? Who would you give up to go get him? And should you sell him high if your team can't win? Or should you sell him high at all? We're going to talk about that and more. Cam Skattebo to the moon. Do it live.
What is that smell? Someone needs me.
Help! Help! I'm going to lose my fantasy week! Somebody help! Call the Scat Man!
I am Scat Man. Who needs my help? Wow. Bang, bang, boom. To the moon. From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Cam Skattebo was fantastic in week number 6 against the Eagles. He had 19 carries, 98 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 catches for 12 yards, and he'll get more involved in the passing attack. This was an unbelievable situation, an unbelievable boost in momentum too. And as I said last night on the show, the main takeaway for me with Cam Skattebo would be a couple things. One, they're having success with him, and that enables the behavior that's taking place. And this goes in a negative context too. Like if Vrabel's winning in New England without Hendy, they're not going to use Hendy. They're going to, and I'm not saying that doesn't come around. That situation, I still believe, tremendously in Henderson, but right now it's a letdown because they're doing well, they're scoring, and it's horrible. And in Denver, Harvey, JK scores, they win a game. It enables them not to say we got to make a change and put Harvey in order to win. This is the same thing, but in a positive direction. Skattebo dropping 3 TDs with the momentum shift of this organization for the future and the now is going to have this team enabled to continue to feed him because great things are happening. Everyone's acknowledging he's a winner, a superstar. And in the box tonight, you saw Joe Scheinbox, and good on him and the entire organization for drafting Skattebo. But you can bet your bottom dollar that Joe Scheinbox had a lot of help with this decision, but he's the one looking like a genius in his mind. You think he's going to have this team dial back Skattebo now when he looks like he made this call? He's living it. He's loving it. And Skattebo is now a top 7 to 10 running back, top 6 to 10 running back. Probably say safer to call him like a 7 to 12, let's say, to give a little room for some of the RBs, Bijan, Gibbs, Genty and Bucky when he returns, Kyron, Achane. We got Judkins. We got a lot of players. JT, Christian McCaffrey, James Cook. So it is hard to say you're number 6, Scat. He's more in the 7 to 12. There's just a big range of players that any one week, one guy could outscore the other. But that is running back 1 material. He is now a running back 1. Even if it's low end, he's a running back 1. The question would be, if you needed to make a move, let's say Scat was on your bench, and now you're forced to play him or sit somebody that you don't want to sit, like an ETN or whatever, you can now maneuver Scat around to go get a big name wide receiver. You can now take a player like, let's say, Scat and a QJ, and you can trade QJ, Quentin Johnson, for those that don't know, for, let's say, a JJ who's on a bye right now. And granted, you're not going to be able to give somebody the Skattebo value, but maybe they're like, well, I can get this QJ value now, and I'm getting Scat. I'll do it. I can't wait on JJ. You're giving me QJ. Let's do it. And some leagues allow you to use that player that's involved in the trade that hasn't played yet. But this would be one way to use Scat. You could trade Scat and Keenan Allen for one player like JJ. Or if it wasn't JJ, you could go get a potential running back. Let's call this Scat and Allen. Could maybe get you a injured Bucky if you wanted to wait on that. Let's say you even had Rashad White. Let's call this Scataboo for, let's try and go straight across for a running back. I mean, he's probably worth more than Chase Brown right now. So that's not an option. He's probably I mean, you probably like Javonte more, but if you ever wanted Javonte, now you can potentially do some sort of 2 for, you give up Scat and somebody for Javonte, but Javonte was probably untouchable. Judkins, I bet you a lot of people are unsure that own Judkins. It's weird. A lot of people that own him are unsure about him. They might say, which one's Smitty? And so we know that there's a potential swap that can happen. But if you had to give up a little bit more, you could if you believe in Judkins. This is something that I would venture to say is possible now that might not have been 5 hours ago. Wide receivers to trade for straight across for Cam Skattebo. And again, I'm not saying to trade him. I'm saying that if you are put in a great position and you don't know what to do with your lineup because this is a new found piece that you're now going to struggle to start game in and game out, this straight across for an Adams could make some sense because Adams does have low-end wide receiver 1 potential. Another wide receiver straight across that could make some sense is Rashee Rice, who's out 1 more week. So that could work even if you threw a little something in there. And if not, preferably not, do it straight up. And the person that can't wait on Rice anymore is looking at Scat going, damn, give me Scat. You could give up something small, get Garrett Wilson. You could potentially give up something small and get JSN or something even medium rare to get JSN. There's a chance you could get a Dunze. There's a chance you could get potentially a player like, let's say you go get a Hendy, and then you also are able to then acquire a wide receiver to the tune of, I mean, you could go after a Ladd and Hendy, but I kind of think you could get more than Hendy if you were to go Ladd here at this wide receiver spot, because it's kind of a doubted wide receiver by many. So maybe you could upgrade this running back spot slightly in this situation and go get a Chase Brown at that point, because Brown and Scott's got more value. I'm not saying that all these moves make sense either. I'm not saying I'd even do all these moves. Scat for ETN, honestly, if you had Tootin, it's a good move. You got to give up a little more. Sure, you might not have to give up more. It just depends on the valuation of that owner with that player. There's so many ways to try and maneuver out of Scat if you need to maneuver out. But again, I would not trade him if everything is going to plan. If you're, let's say, 4 wins or 5 wins in, you don't need to make a trade. You just ride the train. Even if it's depth, it gives you that bye week advantage that's surely coming up in weeks 8, 9, 10. A lot of bye weeks coming up. So if you got 4 wins, 5 wins, maybe you don't make a trade. However, if you've got, let's say, 1 win or 2 wins or maybe even 3 wins, and you've got Cam Skattebo and you're kind of struggling, you can't worry about having depth. You need to score some points. You need to get wins right now. Then you might be a candidate to trade him. So obviously your team and your situation is very, very critical part of whether you would trade away Skattebo. Now, if you wanted to go get Skattebo, in a nutshell, it's probably not the wisest move right now to go buy him off a 3 TD game. But if someone's got him and they're like, I got a surplus, and they do have 1 or 2 wins, they're very eager to trade him. So maybe you could offload a QJ, and this is you trading these pieces right now. A QJ and a Monty, a QJ and maybe a DeAndre Swift, a QJ and potentially a Jordan Mason. Like, these are all pieces that I could give up to go get Cam Skattebo, especially if I have a surplus and then I acquire him, Smitty approved. QJ and Mason, and maybe another wide receiver. If we're going to use just a variety, give you guys all a different kind of look here. Maybe you use a potential like Tet McMillan, and that's a lot to give, but it's doable if you're in a surplus situation. Tet and something here. Let's see if we can get a different running back that would make sense here. I guess something like Swift, as I mentioned, Tony Pollard, Jaylen Warren, etc., etc. Bottom line is, if I had to slot the running back rankings moving forward for week 7 on. I would probably say, 1 and 2 is Bijan, Gibbs. And then right now CMC's playing here for sure, but I'm still trading CMC because I think he gets injured, and I'm trying to get a huge package, 2 pots of gold. But this is the top, 3. You've got JT, you've got players in here, Cooks. I'm not trying to leave anybody out. I'm just going to stop right here, and not include anymore. So don't get excited here. But once you get down to, let's call it 8, I think 8 is pretty safe. 8 to 12, Scat's going to be in that group. That puts him at the very last, at the very minimum, the very last wide running back 1. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's a win. This is a midseason monster success story right here. Cam Skattebo, stock on the rise. Do it live.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
Now for the long version of the Scataboo video. The long version, please.
Scatman.
What is that smell? Someone needs me.
Help! Help! I'm going to lose my fantasy week. Somebody help! Call the Scat Man.
He's the Scat Man. He's scatting all around. Scoring loads when he's called upon. He will ground and pound. Scat Man, yeah. He's the guy you call when things go astray. Scat Man can score all day. He's the Scat Man. Scat Man. Scat Man. Scat Man. Scat Man will score TDs. He will make you get on your knees and say, please, Scat Man, I beg no more. I've had enough of your touchdown galore. Please, Scat Man, I beg no more. I've had enough of your touchdown galore.
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live additionally whenever big news breaks, and live also at midnight Eastern almost every single night. And don't forget to play $5 and get 100 using code Smitty on Underdog. Promo code Smitty, play 5, get 100. Link in description. Link in the description of any video. Make sure you're trying to get more skin in the game on Sundays. If your team's in the crapper, or if you just want to play another, week 7, week 8, week 10 contest on top of all the domination you're doing, then you want to play Underdog. And you can also do the higher and lowers. So play 5, get 100. Use the link in the description, Underdog, promo code Smitty. And that number down there at the bottom, if you need it, just make sure you hit that number. Appreciate every single one of you. You guys all rock. See you later on the next live stream. Deuce.